That's a really important question. First of all, it does not mean that he became anything less than he was. It does not mean that he ceased to be God, because then he would have ceased to be who he was. It does mean that he basically submitted himself to the power of the Holy Spirit and the will of the Father. In fact, if you go through, particularly in the Gospel of John, he says, I only do what the Father tells me to do. I only do what the Father shows me to do. I only do with the will of the Father. And then he also said that when you deny the things that I have done and attribute them to Satan, you have blasphemed the Holy Spirit in the Gospel of Matthew. So the self-emptying is, in the simplest way to explain it, is that Christ set aside his own life as an act of total obedience to the will of the Father through the power of the Holy Spirit. He didn't cease to be God in any sense, fully God, or truly God, as R.C. used to like to say, truly God, truly man, no diminishing of his glory as God, no diminishing of his glory as man. But all, the person of Christ, completely bound, as it says in Philippians 2, to lower himself to the point of a slave. And that's the language that's so important. He defines the kenosis by using the word slave. All the way down, one who was face to face with God, proston theon, in the Gospel of John. And he prayed in John 17 to be restored to that proston theon, face to face with God, because he had made a slave of himself, voluntarily submitting to the will of the Father and the power of the Holy Spirit. Look, those are words that I can say without fully comprehending that in a Trinitarian sense.